you will take some time to connect with the breath, connect in with the body. Take a little bit of movement for the first half of the class, warming up. Getting a bit of a stretch, getting some just enjoyment through our different poses and postures. And then we'll settle into more of a restorative or yin style of practice. We'll get into that connective tissue, that the body enjoys the stillness, maybe having more of a practice with the mind. But starting off by connecting inward. Can you start to notice how you're feeling in this very moment? Finding that position that's most comfortable for you. Maybe you roll those shoulders back and down a little bit. And have just a gentle tuck of the chin, finding some length through the spine, through the back of the neck. Creating a little bit of space for that breath. Maybe you start to breathe a little bit deeper. Filling the lungs a little more, feeling the ribcage expand, and breathing with the diaphragm. Taking those inhales and those exhales. Letting the breath be that anchor point. As you fill the lungs and you just notice all the movement that can be created through simply taking an inhale. And the movement that's created through taking the exhale. And as you scan through the body, maybe you notice a few areas of tension or tightness. And can you start to let them go? Maybe use that exhale breath, that sigh to release. Having compassion for the body, not being upset if there's tightness, but having a sense of understanding. Taking a few more slow, deep breaths. Maybe taking a moment to set an intention. A little word or phrase that rings true for you in this moment. Maybe it's a goal that you're working towards for your practice. Or maybe it's an I am statement. I am enough. I am capable. I'm worthy. Or any word that fits in for you. Those little reminders that we sometimes need to take. Sealing it in with another big breath. Finding that beautiful inhale. Full exhale, let it go. And start to wake up through the body, finding just a little bit of movement. Maybe a little wiggle through the fingers and the toes. Maybe find a little rotation through the neck, bringing an ear towards the shoulder, getting a nice little stretch. And coming towards the other side. Taking that inhale breath and starting to sweep the arms up overhead. Finding that nice, good morning stretch. A nice big reach, oh so nice and tall. Take that exhale, just let the arms hang heavy overhead. One more of those big inhales, big reach. Feeling it not only through the arms, but through the underarms and the rib cage. Wonderful stretch. And exhale, release. Start to bring the knees in towards the chest. Taking a nice little rock from side to side. Feeling that little massage over the body. Feeling it through the spine and the shoulders. Excellent. Finding some stillness. Let's reach those arms out really long, left and right. And just gently drop the legs over towards the left-hand side, coming into a gentle twist. Knees don't have to touch all the way down. Keeping that chin ever so gently tucked, trying to find that length through the back line of the neck. Maybe that left hand comes on top of the legs, giving that hip a little squeeze, like T-band, a little massage, helping increase the blood flow to that area. And you can just enjoy the stillness. Maybe that right ear starts to drop down towards the shoulder, or that, adding a little rotation in through the neck as well. Feeling a little squeeze through the body on those internal organs. Taking one more breath here. Returning the head slowly to neutral. Releasing the legs if you're holding on. And bringing the knees up through that nice center line. And rolling right on over, dropping the legs down towards the right. Beautiful. Giving that leg a little massage, a little bit of love. Maybe the gaze goes over towards the left, including the neck and the twist. And finding that breath. A nice inhale. And an exhale. Releasing the neck back towards neutral. Release the legs and start to swing the knees up towards center. And let's bring the hands behind the knees and extend the feet up long towards the ceiling, finding length through the legs. Starting to awaken into those hamstrings, glutes, and maybe even a little into the low back. And give those hamstrings a little love, a little massage to noticing any tension that's hanging out there. And working on really stomping those feet in towards the ceiling. Add a nice flex to the feet. Really press those heels up as high as possible. Feel all of that lengthening start to happen. And then let's add a nice point to the feet. See if you can feel it through the top of the ankle and the top of the shin as well. Huge stretch here. Lots of length through the legs. Let's take another flex. Bring the toes in towards the body, extending through the heel. Maybe you feel that a little more through the calf. And adding another nice point through the toes. And coming towards neutral. And so good. Let's bend the knees, plant the feet down on towards the ground. You're rolling those shoulders back and down. Feel all of that surface area of the shoulder blades. Take an inhale, breath, and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, just a little engagement of the core. Draw that belly button and feel that little tuck of the pelvis. And pressing the feet down in towards the mat. Let's lift the hips up off the ground. Coming into just a gentle bridge pose. An option to come up a little higher if you so choose. But really just trying to feel the spine lifting up off the mat. Feeling those shoulder blades be the anchor point and the feet be the anchor point. Maybe you take an inhale and a full exhale, finding a little more strength, pressing the feet down in towards the mat. Remembering to breathe and stay connected with that breath. If you want a little more engagement, maybe you firmly press those shoulders down. Press the palms of the hands in towards the ground. Start to feel that activation through the arms. So good. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Start to relax the body and melt down in towards your mat, one vertebrae at a time. Feeling that little massage along the spine. So good. Letting the whole spine press on down. Let's take one more little bridge pose. Starting to press into the feet, lift the hips up. Have a little squeeze through the glutes, have some engagement through the back line of the body. Let that lift the hips just a touch further. Finding that nice engagement, pressing those shoulders in and pressing not only the heels of the feet, but maybe the front ball of the foot and each one of the toes down. Finding lots of activation all the way from the feet, over the knees, through the legs, and through the entire body as those shoulders press down, and maybe pressing into the hands gently as well. Taking a full breath here, see if you can find that inhale. Take that exhale, find that strength, maybe a little engagement. So good. Holding here for another 3, 2, and 1. Start to relax and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Finding that movement and waking up through the body as we were pressing in towards the feet and the shoulders. We were connecting our connective tissue through the entire body. And take a little windshield wiper, dropping knees from side to side. Maybe knees and ankles hang out together, having it be more of a twist. Or maybe you walk your feet just a touch farther apart, letting the knees drop from side to side with a little more rotation than at the hip, feeling that internal rotation as the leg drops down, feeling that little external rotation as the knee comes out towards the side. So good, finding a little bit of stillness. And then making your way up to a seated position, whether you like to rock and roll over the spine or roll onto your favorite side and press yourself up. Sitting with engagement into the sits bones. Nice either cross-legged position, or you can have your legs extended long if cross-legged doesn't work for you. Take a nice inhale, see if you can lengthen through the spine. Exhale, roll those shoulders back and down, softening and lifting through that collarbone. Take another inhale and start to sweep those arms up as we breathe in nice and big. Take an exhale, bring the hands towards heart center. Taking a few more inhales to reach it up. Exhales to bring it down, moving at the pace of your own breath. Letting it truly be your own practice this morning. Finding that awakening through the arms and that nice connection with the body and the breath. Beautiful. Taking one more nice big breath in. Take that exhale, bring the hands all the way down. Hands meeting at heart center. Beautiful. Reaching for opposite knee, reaching for that left knee with the right hand. And send that other hand pressing forward and then spin it open, coming into a twist. You can plant that hand down either close to the hip, off to the side, or right behind you like a second spine. Find a nice inhale and lengthen. And exhale, add just a touch more depth in. Maybe you rotate through the shoulders, bringing that left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. One more nice breath here. Maybe you lengthen on that inhale. Maybe you deepen on that exhale. Looking over that back shoulder. And slowly starting to release. Come on back through center. Just come right on over towards the other side. You're reaching for that opposite knee. Other hand goes either alongside you or behind you. Take that inhale and lengthen. And exhale, twist a little bit more. Maybe adding in that rotation through the shoulders. Feeling that little squeeze through the abdomen. Maybe you take another breath and you find a touch more length, extending the crown of the head upwards. Maybe on that exhale, you move into the space that's created by that breath, finding a little bit more depth. And ever so slowly starting to release, coming back towards center. Beautiful. Let's switch the feet, opposite foot in front or on top, just working a little more with that non-dominant side. Let's take that inhale and sweep those arms up nice and big. Bring hands towards heart center. Inhale, reach it up nice and big, interlacing the fingers, maybe coming towards steeple, pointer fingers are reaching up. Relax through the shoulders. Let's tip on over towards the left. Feel that engagement through the body. Nice side bend opener, feeling this through the shoulders, the rib cage, maybe all the way down to the hip. If you want something a little more gentle, add a bend to the elbow. If you want more intensity, really reach with that right arm. Let's come on back up through center, keeping those arms overhead. Find that neutral, relax the shoulders, reach it up. And let's tip on over towards the right. Feeling that engagement, maybe you add that bend to the elbows, or maybe you find that extra bit of reach, really pressing the legs down, though, stay nice and rooted. Let's come on back up and take that exhale. Start to bring the hands just right in front of you. Roll the shoulders back and down. Nice flat back. Find your forward fold. Maybe you stay up nice and high. Maybe you continue to walk those hands a little bit farther, maybe as you find some openness through the low back. Not rushing anything. Letting the body feel good. Feeling that little hinge from the hips. Take a full inhale. Maybe you lengthen, add a little pull sensation into the hands. And take an exhale, let the body melt down, drop the forehead down. On your next exhale, start to press back into those hands to come on back up. And then let's roll on over into an all fours position. Planting those hands right underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Beautiful. Coming into some cat-cow, dropping the belly button down, gaze goes up. Exhale, tuck the chin, press the spine up towards the ceiling, really rounding through the back. Releasing, moving at your own pace with your breath. You can really slow it down and savor it, accentuating the motion. Or if you'd rather make the motion a little bigger, you can walk the hands farther away from you, finding any back bend that you would like, and maybe pressing back to the child's pose. Feeling that awakening through each one of the vertebrae. Finding that range of motion in the movement of the spine. Taking one or two more. Then finding a neutral, flat back. Draw the belly button in slightly, really activating into that low back. And let's send that right foot back, touching the toes down. Roll that right hip down. Beautiful. Maybe add a little pulse here, just waking up into the back of the leg, maybe through that Achilles and into the calf. Excellent. Find that stillness. Now let's start to drag that foot towards the right hand side, towards that 3 o'clock position, if the body was a clock. Pressing that foot in nice and strongly. And start to walk the hands up, coming up onto that left knee. You can take a little moment and pad up the knee, should you require. Hands hanging on the hips, rolling those shoulders back and down. If you want a little more, you can start to sweep those arms up, reaching up nice and tall. And let's tip over towards the right side. A little more side body openness. Keep pressing into that right foot to help stabilize. So good. Let's come on back up through center. Let's tip over towards the right, towards the left, feeling that little engagement. And come on back up, going over towards the right, over that extended leg. And find that nice center position. And this time when we go left, we'll bring that left hand down onto the ground, reach that right arm up, finding your little gate pose. If you want more intensity, you can always float that foot up, getting a little more into the hip flexors. But always that option to stay nice and gentle on the body. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Bring that foot back down. Pressing all the way back up. Take that nice big reach. Exhale, plant those hands back down and walk out into your puppy pose, keeping the hips over the knee, melting the heart downwards, really extending long through the arms. Little tuck of the chin. And feeling that little engagement through inner thigh. One more breath here. Nice inhale. Strong exhale. Pressing into those hands. And start to walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. And bring that right knee in. Take a nice little sway from side to side. Or any movement you'd particularly love to release through the hips. Finding your stillness. And send those left toes back. Touch them down onto the mat. Make sure each one of the toes is pressing in. Say hello to our Monday morning garbage shifter. Get that little pulse happening, waking up through the calf. Finding the stillness. And starting to bring the foot over towards the left-hand side, finding that 9 o'clock position. Pressing into the foot nice and strong. Let's walk those hands up. Maybe hanging out on the hips. Roll the shoulders back and down. And if you want a little bit more, you can sweep those arms up. And let's tip things over towards the left, right over that extended leg. Feel that openness through the side body. Maybe even press that right hip out just a touch more. So good. Let's float on back up and just gently go over towards the right. Notice that little counterbalance that happens, a little extra engagement. And let's come on back up. Nice big reach over towards the left. And let's come on back up. And this time, planting that right hand down, and reaching that left hand up, finding that gate position. If you want a little more, foot can start to float up. You can either point through the toes or flex through the toes. Pointing through the toes is actually a little harder on the balance because it's activating into the front line of the body. Whereas usually to balance, we flex the foot, activating into the back line of the body, which normally helps us balance a little better. Excellent. And releasing that foot back down if it was lifted. Starting to press into that bottom hand. And come on up, take that nice big reach. And exhale, plant those hands down in front, walking them out into your puppy pose. Keeping those hips stacked over the knee. Arms reaching nice and long. Feel that not only through the hands, the elbows, but through the shoulders and through the rib cage. Beautiful reach. And let the body melt down. Finding that inhale. And connecting with that exhale. One more breath here. Strong inhale. Full exhale. Pressing into those hands. Start to bring the hands back up under the shoulders. And let's tuck that left knee in, taking that nice little sway from side to side. Make your way to a standing forward fold. So I'm going to get there through a downward dog by tucking the toes under, pressing into those hands, lifting the knees and the hips. Maybe you take a little moment in your downward dog to stretch it out. Maybe you pedal it out a little bit. I'm letting it feel really good. Finding that length through the spine. And looking towards the front of the mat. Take a hop step or a jump, or a couple little baby tiptoe steps, finding a forward fold. We'll find a little alignment here, so let's take a halfway lift, bring the hands above the knees, roll the shoulders back and down, extend the head nice and long. Exhale, hinge from the hips and fold down. Letting the head hang heavy. Maybe you give the head a little shake, no. Maybe give it a tiny nod, yes. Give it a bigger shake, no. Find that release. Feeling the hamstrings. The hamstrings are particularly tight, or if you have tension in the low back, bend the knees and rest the torso on the body. That feels so good on the low back. It's not cheating, it's not taking this easier, it's just releasing different muscles. Then inhale, halfway lift, bring those hands onto the knees, roll the shoulders back and down. And let's bend the knees, sink the hips, and press all the way up towards standing. We'll reach out nice and tall. Just take that big good morning stretch here. Big reach. Exhale, hands towards heart center. And let's inhale, reach it up. Exhale, bow it down into your fold. We'll inhale, a little halfway lift. And let's step those right toes back, coming into a low lunge. Drop that back knee down. Hands framing that front foot or resting forearms on the knee. And roll that left hip back, push that right hip forward. And find this where you're feeling a little something, maybe through the hip flexors or maybe through the quad. And if you're feeling nothing here, you can start to bend through the knee to accentuate the twist or the stretch, and maybe reach really with whichever arm you prefer to link it in, adding some more intensity. My knee says no to that one today. Just being gentle on the kneecap, listening to the body. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Releasing that foot. Then start to bring the hands up onto the knee, pressing those hips forward. See if you can add just a touch more depth here. Let's inhale and sweep it up. Nice big stretch. Let's tip it over towards the left. Feeling that gentle pull through the right side. And reach it back up, over towards the right. And reaching it back up. Excellent. Exhale. Frame that front foot. And tuck those back toes under. Lift it through the right knee. And step towards the top of the mat. Leaning back into forward fold. Little inhale, little halfway lift. And bend through that left knee, making a little shelf for the elbow. Planting that left elbow just above the knee. And the right hand starts to come up onto the right hip. Beautiful. Right leg is nice and straight. Maybe you add a little more rotation in, adding a little more depth, stacking shoulder over shoulder. The more you press that right hip out, the more you'll feel it through that right IT bend. Trying to get it to the sidelines of the leg here. If you want more still, you can reach that right hand up towards the ceiling, or bring it even tucking towards the spine, or even reaching for the bind, or reaching for that left thigh. Finding length through the crown of the head. Excellent. Start to bring that right hand down and meeting back just in a forward fold. Maybe you bend through the knees, feeling that little release. Finding some stillness. Let's inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Press all the way up towards standing. Nice big reach, take that nice good morning stretch. Back bend's available here if you'd like it. Maybe just gaze goes up towards the ceiling. Maybe you reach back and press those hips forward. Exhale, come on back. Inhale, sweep it down, reach it up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees. You can plant those hands down, set that left foot back, coming into that low lunge. And adjusting the distance in between the heel and the knee. Maybe framing through that front foot. Rolling that right hip back, really press that left hip forward. Working on feeling some kind of sensation through that left side. If you need that little bit extra, you can add that bend to the knee. Maybe even reaching back, grabbing the foot. Keep holding for 3, 2, and 1. Let's release that foot back down. Beautiful. Starting to bring those forearms or hands up onto the knee. Bringing the shoulders over the hips. Really press those hips forward. Let's inhale, sweep those arms up. Nice big stretch. Twisting or side bending over towards the right. Nice little reach. Come on up towards neutral. And over towards the left. Up towards neutral. Let's frame through that front foot. Dropping the hands down. Tucking left toes under, lift the left knee. Step towards the top of the mat. Find your forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Bending through that right knee, making a little shelf for the elbow. Left hand comes towards the hip. Start to rotate, finding that openness, and stacking the left shoulder over top of right. Lengthening through that left leg. Trying not to hyperextend though, so if you naturally hyperextend, you actually have to work a little harder here. Maybe press that hip out towards the side. Maybe reach that left hand back, or tuck it behind the back. Reaching for the thigh, for the body. Lengthening through the crown of the head. Feeling the feet be rooted down. And one more inhale. Full exhale. Start to bring that left hand down. Straightening through that right leg. Find your forward fold. Maybe bend through the knees, pedaling it out. Finding that little release. Beautiful. Let's take that inhale, nice little halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees. You can plant hands all the way down. Take a nice big step back towards that downward dog. Pressing nice and strong to the arms. Lifting through the hips, finding that length. So good. Let's drop those knees nice and wide, finding your child's pose. Connecting with the breath, and perhaps remembering that intention you set at the beginning of class. Taking a nice full inhale and complete exhale, soften. And let's press into those hands, starting to come up. And let's spin around onto our backs, finding a nice reclined position. Bending the knees and planting the feet. And take a moment and press the entirety of the spine that you can in towards the mat. Maybe you adjust and have the little tip of the pelvis pressing that low back in, and feeling where the rib cage presses in, the shoulders, having that nice tuck of the chin, all with that beautiful length. Finding that connection with the breath. I'm going to start to bring right ankle onto left knee, finding that little figure 4 position. Before you float that left leg up, let's take a little moment and press that knee, that right knee towards the windows or towards the back. See if you can feel something through that right hip, even here. Getting a nice little stretch, but at some different angles than we're used to. If you need a little more intensity, you can always bring that right hand just gently onto the thigh, just to kind of add the weight of the hand or the arm in towards, not actively pushing too hard on the knee, but just finding just a touch more openness. Starting to relax through that right side. And then floating that left leg up, bringing the legs in towards the chest. Maybe left toes just come up onto tiptoes, or maybe the foot floats up and you reach on for ankle and knee, or you reach one of the hands through that little hole, grabbing onto the thigh, or the leg of that left side. Always starting nice and gentle, but always add more depth, finding that edge. Feeling a little stretch on the right side of the hip. Might feel it through the hip flexors. Might feel it into the glutes. This little reclined pigeon variation helps get into that piriformis deep into the glute muscle. And finding your favorite expression of this pose or posture. Maybe you like to add a little rock from side to side. Maybe you like to bring those left toes up towards the ceiling, getting a little more into the hamstring. Keep drawing the legs in towards the chest. Keep feeling that stretch through the right side. Keeping those shoulders relaxed, holding on with just enough tension to keep those legs in place. And at any point, you can bring a bend back to that left leg. Maybe you add a little bit more depth, reaching for the top of the shin, up close to behind the knee. Not letting the head roll back, trying to keep that gentle tuck of the chin, relaxing through the jaw, relaxing the shoulders. Taking 2 or 3 more full rounds of breath here. Can you invite a little softness in? After that next exhale, ever so slowly start to let go of the legs. Let's reach the arms out nice and long, left and right, and let the legs fall over towards the left side. Couple different variations you can take in this twist. From that right knee can stay up towards the ceiling. Maybe you feel it a little more through the IT band there. Or that left knee can fall towards the ground, feeling a little more through the twist. option to add in a couple of binds if you want to do a little more through the arms and the shoulders. Maybe you reach that right hand for the toes, or really your left toes. But in this position, it's kind of hard to tell left and right, coming into that pulling of the cat's tail variation. That left hand can always hang out on top of the knee, or you can come into the double bind here, feeling particularly open, and you're reaching for those right toes, extending the leg long. Taking 2 more rounds of breath here. At the end of that next exhale, gently releasing any binds you might have, reaching those arms back out nice and wide, and start to swing the legs up and crossing at any point, planting both feet down. Take a little windshield wiper from side to side, letting the blood flow and the energy kind of return back to normal. Finding some stillness, keeping those feet in a nice neutral position if they started to walk farther apart. And let's bring that left ankle on top of the right knee, coming into a little figure 4 position, starting to press that left knee backwards. Maybe that left hand comes on top of the thigh, just to kind of add the weight of the hand in. Feeling a little something through that left side to begin with. Relaxing through that left hip, turning to a little more neutral position, and then maybe starting to float that right foot up off the ground, or just coming onto right tippy toes if that's enough of a stretch. You've got that foot lifted, you hold on to ankle and knee, or reach hand through that nice little hole, grabbing for the back of the thigh. Finding your favorite expression of this. Maybe you add that little rock from side to side. Feeling that massage on the low back, maybe across the shoulders. Maybe you extend those right toes up towards the ceiling. Keep drawing the legs in towards the chest. Feeling that nice stretch through the left hip. Keeping that gentle tuck of the chin. Try to relax the shoulders. Relax the eyebrows and that little space between the eyebrows. Relax the hip. And at any point, that right knee can bend again. Taking another full round of breath here. Finding that inhale, releasing on that exhale. Starting to release ever so slowly through the hands, reaching those arms out nice and wide. Let the legs fall towards the right. Playing around with different variations of your twist here. Maybe that left knee stays up towards the ceiling. maybe falls down and towards the floor. Just noticing where you feel it and where you want to feel it. If you want, start to add a little more depth in for the arms and the shoulders. Maybe that left hand starts to reach down for the toes that are there, coming into that pulling of the cat's tail. Maybe it feels like a little quad stretch, or maybe you just feel it through the left shoulder. If you want that right hand can come on top of the leg, maybe just hang it out on top of the knee. You can extend that leg long, or reach down for the toes, coming into the full double bind. That's pretty intensive on the internal organs, so just be mindful of that. Trying to let that body rest. Taking a few more rounds of breath. Taking another inhale. And full exhale. Releasing the binds that you might have. Reaching those arms up nice and long. Starting to swing those legs back up. And crossing them. If you haven't done so already, take that little windshield wiper from side to side. And that's fine. It's your stillness. Extend the legs nice and long. Reach those arms up overhead. Taking one more good morning stretch. This big reach through the fingertips. Maybe interlace the hands coming to steeple here. Big reach pointing through the toes. Exhale, keep the arms overhead, but relax through the body. Getting ready to come into our little banana pose or our half moon. Starting to wiggle head and shoulders over towards really either direction. I'm going to start by going towards the right. But if you'd rather go to the left, we'll do both sides and say okay. Trying to keep that shoulder relaxed and down, keeping as much connection through that upper body with the ground that you can. But it's normal for that arm to start to float up. And then starting to walk your feet in the same direction that the arms went. Cross over ankles and to help keep the feet in place. Feeling that openness through the side body, all the way through the elbow to the shoulder and underarm, the rib cage, down to the hip. Maybe you feel that gentle pull through the muscles that connect from the spine to the hip. We're trying to feel that through the legs, all the way down to the ankle. Trying to keep the hips level on the ground, not letting one float up too much. Breathing in, breathing out. starting to slowly release through the arms and the head, as well as through the feet. Trying to find that neutral position. Take that nice big stretch in neutral. Relax through the body, keeping those arms overhead. Maybe you switch the grip so the opposite thumb is on top, letting it be like that awkward handshake. And starting to wiggle head and shoulders over towards the other side. Trying to keep, for sure, the shoulders connected and as much as the arms connected as you can. Trying to walk the feet over to the same direction as the arms. You can always add that little cross to the feet or the ankles. And feeling that nice big reach. Feeling that openness through the side body. And even here, there's probably a good amount of tension happening through that side line of the body. You can work on relaxing. You let those hips melt down. Let the shoulders rest. Breathing in. And breathing out. Starting to release through the body. Making your way back to neutral and crossing at the feet. Taking that nice reach and stretch. And drawing the knees in towards the chest. Feeling that connection of the low back. Giving a little bit of love. Taking that little rock from side to side. Finding some stillness. Let's reach the hands through the knees, coming into our happy baby. Reaching for the feet, the ankles, really however you want to hold on. If you don't like reaching for the feet, hands can hang out on the outside of the knees. Bring the feet up towards the ceiling, knees drawing in towards the body. Maybe you continue to have that little rock from side to side. Maybe you really focus on bringing the soles of the feet in alignment with the ceiling. Knees drawing forcefully in towards the body. Or maybe you work on extending the legs long. And taking a little moment to be playful here. And then starting to transition into the freestyle portion of the class. So if there's another pose or movement you'd love to take before settling into Shavasana, playing around and embracing that. And I really try to teach listening to your body. And so here is the time for you to really be the guru, the expert of your own practice. And listening to your body and responding, taking the movement or the pose that it would love to have. Should nothing come to mind, or should you choose, you're welcome to just settle into Shavasana, taking a few extra moments of quietness and stillness. And then as you're ready, starting to choose that final position, whatever brings you a little bit of joy, is comfortable. And then you can take a full breath in. Starting to roll the shoulders back and down. Relaxing, scanning through. Maybe you scan from head to toe or from toe to head, checking in with the body. Noticing how a bit of movement, a bit of rest has had an impact. Taking some time to connect in with that breath. Letting the inhales be full and the exhales complete. Seeing if you can take 5 to 10 full breaths in and full breaths out. Feeling that breath not only move throughout the lungs, but into that abdomen, into that diaphragm area as well. Taking that full inhale and full exhale. Letting that breath be the first movement the body takes in reawakening. That nice deep breath in, nice breath out. Taking a moment to remember that intention one more time from the beginning of class. Taking a moment to reflect on it, and perhaps setting a new intention for the rest of your day. Finding that nice inhale and full exhale. Starting to reawaken through the body. And taking those lovely good morning movements. If you want, you can roll on to your favorite side, using that bottom arm as a pillow, and coming into a little fetal position, gentle bend of the knees. Taking a few breaths here, just feeling the softness of the pose. And then maybe using that top arm to press in towards the floor, making your way up to a seated position. Finding that seated position that is comfortable, either keeping the eyes closed or finding a little mark on the floor to focus in on, hands just resting gently on the knees, palms up or down, your choice. Take that nice big inhale breath, take an exhale and sigh it out. Another big breath in and release. the last one. Nice inhale. Full exhale. Bringing the hands to heart center, rolling those shoulders back and down. Just the position of gratitude. All right, thank you so very much for sharing your practice with me. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day filled with many moments of joy. And I pray that you are always blessed. Namaste.